Hey guys, back again. Today we're doing circumference and area of a circle. All right, so here's your vocabulary. If you want to copy that down, you want to pause it right now and copy that. I'm going to go right into example one. So I'm going to turn that off, and we're going to turn on to example one and two actually are on the same page here. So here's the picture that you have in your note packet, and a couple formulas that we've got to use today. All right, first of all, let me fix that for a minute here. Okay, first we've got circumference equals 2 pi r, and circumference equals pi d. All right, now obviously r stands for radius, and d stands for diameter. Remember that the radius, if I were to draw a lesson for this one, it would be just halfway across the circle. It's from the center to the edge, all right? And the diameter is what they actually have for me here. That's all the way from one edge through the middle to the other edge. That's your diameter. So one thing to keep in mind is that if you have a radius, it is half of the diameter, and vice versa. If you have the diameter, it's 2 times the radius. So given one, you can easily find the other. All right. The other formula that we're going to use today is the area formula, and that is pi r squared. All right. Again, r stands for radius, so you want to make sure you follow your order of operation rules. And if you are using this formula, you want to square the radius first and then multiply by pi. All right, now all of these say to the nearest inch or nearest foot or nearest whatever unit. So we are going to plug 3.14 in for pi every time. All right, be careful if you have your calculator. Don't just use the pi button, because that will actually give you more decimal places than the 3.14. What's going to happen is it's going to change your answer. It's going to give you a little different answer. So actually type in right now, let's type in 3.14, and so we all get the same answers here, okay? So first one, example one, a circular label. This picture right here has a diameter of 3.33 inches. Approximate the distance around the label to the nearest inch, okay? So if I want the distance around the circle, that is where I want to use circumference. That's what circumference is. It's really standing for the distance, or it's like the perimeter of the circle. All right. So which one of these do you use? Well, you use the one that is easiest to use in the problem. All right. They give you diameter. Well, don't pick this one. This one has radius in it. Pick the one with diameter. All right. So for this one, I'm just going to write down the formula I'm going to use, and just like last couple days, these are plug and chug. Okay, plug everything in that you know, and solve for the thing that you don't. So I'm going to put 3.14 in for pi, and my diameter is 3.33 inches. I'll put the units on at the end. Okay, so I just multiply these together, and there's really no algebra to do or anything. I used my calculator over here, so I got 10.4562. All right, I'm just going to put that right down here. And they wanted me to the nearest inch, so I need to round to this decimal place right here. I look to that 4 that says do not change it, so I get an answer of 10. All right, now circumference is not an area. It's just a distance, right? So I'm not in inches squared. I'm just in inches. All right. So there's my first example. That's pretty straightforward. This next one, now they give you circumference, and they want you to find the radius. Okay. So again, I'm going to go over here to these two formulas that I have and pick appropriately. All right. I want to find radius, so I'm certainly not going to pick this one with diameter in it. I'm going to take this one with radius. So I'm going to put this might have a little more work to it. So I'm going to put this one right over here. 2 pi r, I'm going to start with, and plug in, again, plug in what they give you. All right, so they give me the circumference is 56, so that goes in for the C. And oh, I got a 2 there. That's already there for me. 3.14, that never changes. And what I'm looking for is radius. Okay, so I need to solve for this r here. Well, these two I can just multiply together without doing any algebra here. I just multiply those together. I get 6.28 r. Okay, and now this is where I got to start doing my algebra. So I have to solve for r. So I have to divide by 6.28 and divide by 6.28. And I don't know about you, but I can't do that in my head. So I'm going to call up my handy dandy calculator, and I'm going to go 56 divided by 6.28. And ooh, isn't that a pretty sight? Yowza. Okay. I'm just going to write down, I know I'm rounding to the nearest foot, so well, I don't even have to write all this down. I'm going to round. That 9 is going to tell me to round this 8. This is the nearest foot. That's going to round up to 9. So my radius equals 9. Now, radius is just a distance, so it's just 9 feet. Okay, so there's your answer to example 2. Again, I just started with my formula and just plugged in what I know, and I'm left with one thing that I had to solve for. So my algebra takes over. All right, so there's example 1 and 2. Let's jump right into example 3 and 4, and let's give these a shot. Okay, these two have to deal with area, so I'm going to put my area formula up here. And as soon as I see that right there, I know I'm dealing with that formula. So find the area of a circle to the nearest square meter. Okay, now here's the thing. You have a picture on your note packet, and I didn't put the picture in here, so this is my awesome circle that I'm going to draw. And yeah, that looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Okay, so there's my circle, and it has a diameter of 10 meters. Okay, so well, I look over here, and my area of a circle formula, well, it doesn't have diameter in it. So, what do I do? Well, if I know the diameter is 10 meters, then we said that the radius is just half of that. So that means the radius is 5 meters. Yeah, that's supposed to be an m. All right, let me undo that, and let's make a real m there. Okay, so there's my radius. All right, so I go over here and I use my area equals pi r squared. And again, let's plug in everything that we know. We don't know area. That's what we're looking for. We know 3.14 is pi, and I just figured out that my radius is 5. So as I said earlier, make sure you do it in order of operations. Okay, you always take care of your parentheses, but there's nothing inside this parentheses and inside this parentheses. But then you always do your exponents first. So please do not take 5 squared and tell me it's 10. If it was 5 times 2, they would write it, or I would write it like that. But I don't. I write it 5 raised to the 2. That means, okay, that means 5 times 5. All right, so please don't make that mistake. All right, so 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, and now I've got to take 3.14, so I need to help my handy dandy calculator again. 3.14 times 25, and I get, ooh, that's nice, 78.5. Okay, so area is 78.5, and my unit is going to be meters squared because, again, I'm in an area. Okay, but oh, wait, they said to the nearest square meter. So that 5 would actually tell me to turn this into 79 meters squared. Okay, so that's my final answer on that one. All right. Example 4. Again, I see that word area. I know I'm dealing with this formula, all right, and I'm just going to plug in. I might need a little more space on this one, so I'm going to draw myself a line, so I'm going to put it right over here. Okay, I'm going to plug in what they give me. The area is 39.25, so I put that in for A. The pi That is still 3.14. And they want me to find the radius. Okay. So I have radius squared over here. So I need to solve for r. You need to get r all by itself. Well, here's the thing. Don't worry about this exponent right now, okay? Since these two are being multiplied, I can divide both sides by 3.14. Okay, that's really a 4. Let me fix that. All right, let me erase that right there and put in a 4. Okay, so that is 3.14. And I need my handy dandy calculator. I've got to take 39.25 and I've got to divide by 3.14 and I get 12.5. Okay, so let me get rid of this. That is 12.5 equals r squared. Okay, now some of you may be saying, oh, what do I do now? I don't know. I don't know what to do with this squares. Well, if you remember when we start talking about algebra, you undo addition by doing subtraction, and you undo subtraction by doing addition because they are opposites. All right, and you undo multiplication by dividing, and you undo division by multiplying because those are opposites. Well, here's the thing. Squaring has an opposite, all right? The opposite of squaring is square rooting. All right. So I've got to have my calculator because I need to take the square root of 12.5. So I'm going to clear this out here. And here's my little square root symbol right here. So I'm going to square root. See that little square root? That stands for square root. And this works a little opposite here. I need to put 12.5 in first and then say I want to take the square root of that. All right. So when I take the square root of 12.5, I get 3.535533339, blah, 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 blah. All right, but I want to the nearest tenth of a yard. Okay, notice it says here tenth of a yard. So here's the tenth part. All right, here's the tenth place. And this 3 tells me, well, just leave that 5 just the way it is. So I'm going to come over here and radius equals 3.5. Is that right? Yeah, 3.5. Okay. So what I did here from this point to this point, I square rooted, I'll say. I square rooted both sides. So it gets rid of the squaring here, just leaves me with r, and the square root actually over here. What's my units? Oh, yards. I'm going to squeeze that in there, yards. All right, so 3.5 yards. And again, radius is just a distance. It's not an area, so it's not yards squared. It's just 3.5 yards, okay? So again, it's all about using the formulas, plugging in what you know, and solving for the thing that you don't know. So you have 4 checkpoint problems that are follow after this, actually just 2 of them. And they ask you to find the circumference and find the area. So this is where you pause it, give them a shot. I'm going to switch it over here in just a second, and those will be the answers to the checkpoint. Okay, so here's the checkpoint problems. Right here's your answers in red, and right here in red, this is the circumference, this is the area. Again, this is circumference, this is the area. You can see the work down here. I didn't round it. I wanted you to see this would be your answer before rounding, okay? Because they do say to round to the whole number. So this is what you get, and then this is after rounding. So I wanted to see both of those on there. So hopefully it went all right with you. And again, it's all about using the formulas. You got to know the formulas. If you don't know the formulas, well, you're kind of up the creek. So we'll see you tomorrow, and that's it.